All right, we are live. What's going on, Lead Gen Beast? Matty Ice here. And in this training, I have my good friend Paul from Exclusive Realtor Leads back again. We got some really good feedback on the last training that we did. So we're here live again, doing a training on how to start a marketing agency, but very specifically a real estate lead generation marketing agency. And why we're being very specific with that is because Paul is just absolutely crushing it with his agency right now in the real estate market in a couple of different sub niches, which is what we're going to talk, part of what we're going to talk about, starting an agency for realtors, real estate investors, et cetera. You can really take it whatever direction you want, but he's doing really, really well. And so what we want to do is just kind of give like a mini blueprint, start to finish blueprint and game plan for starting a marketing agency. Because I really want to help you guys just absolutely crush it in this business. Starting an agency is a fantastic business to get into, but there are certain steps that you need to follow, certain things you need to do in order to be successful. And Paul has been kind enough to give us some of his time on the weekend here to talk about his success. So Paul, it's great to have you again, man. I'm really looking forward to this conversation.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. I appreciate you having me back on the channel. It's always fun, and I really enjoy doing this stuff. So
yeah,
let's dive into it. What are some of the things you want to start off talking about?
Yeah, for sure. So I figured let's start from the beginning. First, I want to get your experience as an agency owner thus far, and why do you think? So why would you recommend to somebody to start a marketing agency, and what has your experience been specifically an agency owner in the real estate market? Talk about that.
So my experience with the agency, it has been a wild but fun ride. And I know you've heard every step of the way. So when it first started out, it really just started with building, and it took me forever to actually build a product that I knew was worth it to agents, and being able to give them a ton of value, more value than, what I keep seeing every time I open my Instagram, and there's, 30 different agency ads telling me that they're promising me 1 million different leads.
Right.
And so I think that is one of the biggest things, was kind of breaking through and creating a product of value, and people can see right through that. So I always like to tell people, like, hey, if you don't have a product, like if you don't have a good system to provide them, no one's going to pay you. And the reason is because they can get that same crappy system in 20 different places.
Sure.
So that is the very first thing that I focused on. And that took me about 3-4 months to actually build out and feel confident to provide. And obviously since then I've continued to update, edit, change it. And I mean, that happens on a weekly, monthly basis.
Right.
And so there's always little things that you're editing. But that has been probably one of the biggest things, is taking it from, zero to starting to talk to clients and finding clients and asking for referrals and really building out the agency from scratch.
Yeah.
So it's not for the lighthearted. It's a tough business. There's so many Instagram gurus out there that are going to tell you, yeah, just start an agency. You'll make $100,000 a month.
Yep.
That's not how it works. I hate to break it to you if you're watching this video hoping to make $100K a month starting next month, but it's probably not going to happen unless you.
Eventually you can get there, but you can eventually get there with any business, right? That's
Exactly.
Just the nature of business. Like sometimes I think people get this, they have a misunderstanding about the level of time, effort, and work that it's going to take to build a real agency. And a couple of things about that. I think also we get so fixated on how much money we can make in the beginning versus focusing on how much money can we help our clients make. And if you think about it that way, so like you said, you spent 3-4 months basically just working on your proof of concept, making sure that you could actually deliver results for your clients. And because you did that, you weren't worried about making 10 grand a month, in your first 30 days. You were focused on actually delivering value to the client, right? And doing trial and error, testing different types of campaigns and marketing systems and building different things on high level, whatever. Now you have a really successful agency because of that.
Yeah.
Not to mention, and we'll get into this a little bit later, but when you have proof of concept, if you actually take the time, put in the effort to build a product that actually delivers results, selling it becomes much easier.
Oh yeah.
Much easier. Like you don't need a super sophisticated sales process or anything. Like if you've got testimonial after testimonial, or just if you could show video results, like or on results on video, whatever, like, hey, here's how we're crushing it, dude, it becomes so much easier to sell. But it's also a lot more satisfying too, I think, when you're able to deliver results and you see the change and impact that you're having on somebody's business. I think that's one of the really fulfilling parts of becoming an agency owner. And just to finish up on that thought, I think one of the reasons to start an agency is because it's the type of business where you don't have to quit your job in order to start it. You can totally start it on the side. Yep. And you're in control. You have a lot of control and flexibility in which direction you take it and what you build. It allows a lot of entrepreneurial creativity as well. I think that's why it's such a phenomenal business to start. Not to mention, if we talk about from a financial standpoint, it can build a lot of monthly recurring revenue from a lot of different income streams as well. So I think that's why starting an agency is just a fantastic business. And the next thing I wanted to ask you is why. So let's talk about picking a niche. All right. So we've kind of touched a little bit on like, not really the why, but like just focusing on, like why are we starting the agency? At the end of the day, it's really to provide value to clients, like as much value as we can and positive impact to the business. At some point though, what's really important is to pick a niche. So I don't know about you, but when I started my agency, I was kind of all over the place, which in the beginning is okay. But at some point you do want to niche down. Talk to me a little bit about why you think the real estate market is a really good industry for agency owners. And then I'll share my thoughts on it afterwards.
Yeah. So there's a few reasons. So one of the reasons is because it's such a high ticket opportunity. And even if the leads are, if they're spending $2,000-$3,000 before they get a closing, that's fine because their closing is going to be $10,000, $15,000 commissions.
Right.
And so if
and you have clients doing that.
Oh yeah.
Right
Yeah. So I had a client, he's up in Northern California. So it's a little bit of like pricier house ranges. And so he's got a guy under contract. It's like $1.5 million. And so I'm just going to be, a little bit conservative on the commission on that, 15 grand. Right. So, it pays for all of his marketing for almost the entire year, just one deal. And so that's 1 month, one deal. So if you get 2, 3, 4, you can continue to, snowball those efforts. And so that is one of the main reasons why I really like the real estate area. It's because of that. And so I really do focus mostly with 2 types of people. Well, I guess, 3, but 2 of them are almost in the same category. So they're almost competitors, which is funny, but it's the real estate agents. And then on the flip side, it's the investors and wholesalers, right? So there's the agents who obviously want to list the property, try and help them get the maximum value. But then there's also the investors, the wholesalers, who maybe they want the properties that are a little bit, beat up or need some love.
The ones that realtors don't really want to touch.
Yeah, exactly. Cat just decided to hop up here.
That little rascal.
Yeah.
Chaos maker.
Yeah, she was trying to talk about real estate agents and investors. But the investors, the reason that they like these leads is because obviously they can get direct to the seller. Just like with the agents, they can get direct to either the person who wants to buy or sell the home. So Facebook, it is awesome because the lead quality is still really high, but they tend to be a little bit cheaper than other avenues. Right. And one of the best parts about using Facebook ads and setting this up for clients is that there's no longer a middleman. So if you charge a flat fee, let's say per month, which is usually what I recommend, and that's what I personally do, it saves them so much money because they're not spending $250 on a lead that's being sent out to 3 other agents.
Sure.
And they don't have to worry about competing. Everything is exclusive. You can guarantee that you're not selling it to people. You can integrate it directly with their system. And so that is one of the things that all of my clients love, because they know that if they get a lead, that lead may have clicked on a different website, but it wasn't me sending it out to 20 different people. So that is why a couple of reasons I love the real estate industry, because there's so many people who are doing it wrong. It's high ticket. And as long as you're doing it right, you really can't go wrong in this industry.
Yeah, 100%. That was going to be the reason that I I would say real estate is a really good industry for agency owners is because it's high ticket. They don't have to close a ton of deals in order to make up all of their marketing budget, including what you charge them for your services plus profit. And if they do it consistently and build up that pipeline, man, they should, and assuming that they're doing their part as the client as well, we'll talk about that later, then they should be doing really well.
Yeah.
And so I typically recommend to pick a higher ticket industry if you can, because also, again, if we're talking about the financials, you're going to be able to charge a lot more. You and I had a conversation about this just a few days ago about what to charge clients, and we'll get into that later. But when you are providing marketing services that eventually lead to a $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 commission, and you have proof of concept, man, you can really write your own ticket at that point. You could do really, really well. And so what I found interesting about what you said is like using Facebook ads. I think we talked a little bit about this on the last training, but talk to me a little bit about Facebook ads, because I hear Facebook ads suck. The lead quality is just terrible. So you're telling me, Paul, that your clients are crushing it with the Facebook ad system that you have in place. Is that what I'm hearing?
Oh man, I don't know. I heard they suck too.
They've got to be lying to you. Your clients are lying. Nobody's actually making money from these Facebook leads, right?
Yeah, they're just giving me all their money and any return.
They're charitable. That's why they're in business, right? To be charitable, right?
Exactly. No, so the leads, look, I think that there's just a big misconception with leads in general. I think that people, regardless of if it's Facebook, Google, YouTube, if they're buying leads from larger companies for real estate, I'm just going to use examples like Zillow or Realtor.com, any of those, big brand names, right? There's a million other companies that are doing it. Everyone says leads suck. Well, there's two reasons people say leads suck. It's because they think that every lead's going to be on a silver platter, ready to sign the purchase contract or sales contract, whatever, and they're going to get a commission check. That's reason number one why a lot of people think that leads suck. They're like, well, I paid, a bunch of money for this lead. It should close. It's just not the case. The other thing is that they aren't realizing that, it takes a lot of follow-up. Just because you're paying for leads doesn't make it any easier for them to actually go through. It's just putting you in front of the people who do need that product or service. Right. So if you're really, really bad at sales, hate to break it to you, but your conversions are going to still be really bad, even if you're paying for marketing. So,
and if you don't call your leads too, I've had
that's just
generate leads and not even call them.
That's just a whole other topic that I could go off on tangents about that, where it's like, hey, these leads suck. Oh, well, are they not picking up the phone? Well, I haven't called them.
Yeah, it's comical.
Yeah.
So also, guys, here's the quick sales plug for the video. So Paul actually has a program that he's put together that basically gives you his agency on a silver platter.
Yeah. From
start to finish. Here's exactly how I built it. He even gives you the Facebook ads that he's using to fulfill for his clients, right? So, that's why I really wanted to do this training. I knew you were putting a program together too, and I wanted to get it out there for people that are interested in starting an agency but don't want to spend 6 months learning, going through trial and error like you did, figuring the system out. Why not just get a system that already works and start charging clients for it? Part of the program too is how to get clients, and we'll talk about that too in a minute. But if you guys want to learn more about Paul's program, I'll have a link down in the description, and it's literally a start to finish blueprint on how he built his agency and how you can replicate his success specifically in the real estate market. I think that's the key, is that he already has a system that's working for agency owners. I mean, it's working in his own agency for both realtors and investors, and he's giving that to you on a silver platter. So make sure you check that out if you guys are interested in starting a successful agency. With that said, Paul, why don't we take a couple of minutes? If you could share your screen, why not? Because you were talking about some campaigns that you're running. I want people to see some of the results that you're getting from the Facebook ads that you're running for clients, because results. I've always said this: results speak louder than any words I could possibly say. Yeah. Right? The proof is in the details here, the numbers. So. Because I've heard that from people too, that Facebook leads suck, and they can,
Yeah.
Just like Google PPC leads can suck, just like any other type of lead can suck if you're not doing it right. But there are very specific things that you can do to get higher quality leads. Your lead cost might be a little bit higher. That's fine. It's all relative. If you're going to make a $5,000 commission, are you willing to pay an extra $20 per lead to get that commission? If it's higher quality, of course, right? So are you able to share your screen and just maybe walk us through the ads manager or whatever you want to share?
Yeah, let's do it. So here, let me go ahead and share the screen here.
And I'll blur out anything like account numbers or details, whatever, for privacy later on.
Cool. So here, you can see my screen. So we've got, for example, this client, they started back in May. So right now we're filming, it's the end of August. He has spent about $1,800 in ads, and leads are coming in around $11.65. And now you can see this is the breakdown. So as we started out, we did it very, very basic, very, very simple. So it was like asking for name, email, phone number. And it asked, maybe a very simple question. It was like, hey, are you looking to purchase a house? And then it was asking like a second question, like a follow-up, being like, hey, when are you looking to purchase the house, right? After that, we played with some video ads, which actually brought in quite a bit of higher quality leads, but they were just a little bit more expensive. Mm-hmm. So what we wanted to do was he wanted to test a very similar ad to the initial one, but asking even more questions than on the video ad, because he said, wow, this is great. I want to keep getting these to be higher and higher quality. Sure. So just for an easy reference point, we've been running this one, exact same ad, image and copy, all of that, but we're asking more questions. And so like you just mentioned, right, you might have a little bit of a higher lead cost. So lead cost rose just about $5, but it asked like 3 additional questions than previously. And it was
typically will generate higher intent. The more information you ask for in your marketing, typically the higher intent the lead is going to have.
Exactly. So that is.
And, I'm sorry, real quick, Paul. Are these are you using Facebook lead forms, or are you sending people to a landing page?
So we're doing Facebook lead forms so that we can utilize the conditional logic, and then from there they're going to a survey page.
I gotcha. Which will ask them more information, right? Ask them more questions. Okay. But see, that's crazy too. I mean, your lead cost is still pretty low, even though you're using conditional logic, which is probably filtering out a decent amount of people, and yet your lead cost is still pretty good.
Yeah. So, and you'll probably look at these numbers and be like, yeah, I can see why. So, I mean, the link click-through rate is extremely high for every single one of these.
Anything above 1%, guys, you're doing really good.
Exactly. And so that's actually something that I'm putting into my training course that really walks through everything, is how to know if your ads are performing really well. Right. So, I mean, I'm providing all of these exact ads that I'm using for people, but I'm also showing you.
Do you provide that video ad too?
Yep. Yeah. I'm teaching people exactly how to create video ads using AI.
Nice. So you used AI to make that video ad?
Yeah. For all of my clients, I use AI so that it's not copyrighted. Nice. And make sure that it's 100%, unique to their specific business.
Okay. Sweet.
So, all right. Pretty cool. And then let me jump over this one, this account here. This was for a real estate agent, but let me go ahead and I'm going to pull up another one that
while you're doing that, Paul, so they spent about $1,800 on the ads. Do you have any numbers on like what they've closed or what they have under contract or anything like that?
Yeah. So this is the guy I was actually telling you. There's about 6 clients so far there's about 150, 160 leads in there. Mm-hmm. I can actually go look. I'll tell you exactly how many. 156 leads. And he said that
they spent $1,800. They got 156 leads.
Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty good.
So 6 of them have actually met with him in person. And there is, I believe, 2 of them that are buying in the next 6 months. So they're not immediate. And that will happen with real estate type leads, especially now, because I don't know if you just saw the news, but the interest rates are going to be dropping. And so obviously more people are going to be reaching back out. And in this system, there's, 6 months of follow-up. and you can add as much as you want. So it'll keep reaching out to people. But one of the guys, one of like the first leads that he got was that $1.5 million property I was telling you about. So conservatively, he'll make between, $15,000, $20,000 on a commission check from, $1,800 in leads. So
that's crazy.
Pretty cool. And it's
Not
all
bad.
from, horrible leads on Facebook.
Yeah. And here's the thing, 156 leads. I mean, obviously the client's not going to close all of them. You can't expect to do so. It's really a ratio. Like what percentage of leads are we getting on the phone, which is going to vary widely depending on the client, like no matter what kind of follow-up you have in place.
Yeah.
All right. So that really is on the client to be following up with leads, maybe putting some AI chat bots in place. You've had your own experience with that. Maybe we can do another training on that later. But at the end of the day, the client has to be calling the leads. But even still, that goes back to picking your niche as an agency owner and picking a high ticket industry where if he closes one lead out of the 156, even though that conversion percentage would be awful,
right,
not very ideal, he could make $15,000 on it. And at the end of the day, it comes down to the bottom line. If I spend $1,800 in ads and I make $15,000 in commissions, why on earth would you ever turn that off?
Exactly. That's right? Exactly right.
So yeah, that's crazy. Did you have another account?
Let me pull up. So let me show you one of the investors, and you'll have fun getting to edit out all the names and stuff. So have fun with that.
It's all good.
So I started with this client back in May. And so you'll actually notice that these leads, so it's been since May, he's only got 66 leads so far. They're just a lot more expensive leads because they're targeting directly to people trying to sell their homes. So there's a lot less people trying to sell their homes than they are buying their homes. So these same leads that if you were to get them on, like, let's say Google, or, really, if you were to pay like per lead or whatever, you're probably paying $250, $300 a lead. So that's why we're cutting out the middleman. We're generating them directly for the client. And you can see the exact lead costs here, right? So we started out in 4 states, and then we were doing some static images, and we found that in these states, the video ads were just performing way better over time. And so this client has spent about $4,700 in total over the last, 3.5 months. And we are seeing, so he's got one right now that he already it's under contract, about to be dispositioned for $9,000 of profit. And then that, on top of that, he got another lead the same day that he believes he's going to make another $10,000 in profit. Nice. So it's not under contract yet, but he called me to let me know that both of those were happening, and goes, "This is great. I'm so happy." He moved to just doing or targeting one state. So as you can see, like, lead cost kind of went up a little bit because we're only targeting one state. It's actually about a 90-mile radius. So the smaller you get, the more expensive your lead costs are going to be. But he's been absolutely loving it. He's been able to, like, drive to the client's house, like the lead's house, and get them under contract right then and there. So he's absolutely killing it. So I'm really, really happy for him.
Not to mention that he has a pipeline of other leads that, might not be ready right now, but if you put in the time, you meet with them, have a conversation, a month from now, maybe they're ready, maybe it's 6 months from now, and all of a sudden you're looking at another $5,000 to $10,000 paycheck, right?
Yeah.
So,
and it makes it an easy sale too. So you mentioned this a little earlier, but I'm just more speaking to agency owners right now. When you have clients and you can pull up an ads manager, obviously I always recommend, and not even recommend, like, do this when you have clients, ask them prior to showing others on demo calls. Say, "Hey, would you mind if I had a demo call? Could I use your ads manager just to show to, a potential prospect of mine?" Right. They're most likely going to say yes, but I always just like to say that.
Yeah. You want to let them know.
Yes, 100%. And so that is one of the biggest things, like being able to show, yeah, it's working. Here's what I'm doing for others. If you're interested, let me know, because just showing people this right here, it's like, oh, wow, he is getting what he's saying. I
Right.
can expect similar results. And if this continues to happen for me, I know that I have the right people in place, the right systems on the back end to disposition these properties or to sell the properties, or I've got people on my team who can list these properties, right? So if you can fulfill the service, implementing a marketing system like this just becomes a no-brainer for your potential prospect.
Yeah, 100%. And not to mention the text messages you get from clients. I've seen you post those, a couple of those in the Skool community, which should have mentioned. I'll do an intro video to this whole thing and tell you guys, join the Skool community, connect with myself and Paul in the Skool community. We're constantly, we're posting content and testimonials, what's working for us, et cetera. So make sure you join. That'll be in the description. But yeah, when you get text messages like that, what you've shared about the deals that are being closed and stuff, and you see it in the ads manager. There's really, like, from an agency owner perspective, it's not very difficult to sell at that point, because if we think about what the client wants, all right, let's just go back full screen here for a minute. If we think about what the client wants at the end of the day, they don't want a fancy sales presentation. They don't care how fancy your website is or how amazing you say your chatbot is, whatever. They want results.
Yeah.
Right. That's it. And if you could show the results, like the types of leads that you're generating, the amount, the cost, here's the success that other people are having, et cetera. What sales process at that point? It makes building your agency so much easier. But that happens from focusing on providing value first, building that proof of concept, or getting that proof of concept, building the system that actually works, or replicating Paul's in this case, which would make it a lot easier on you, but everybody's path is a little bit different. But yeah, once you're able to show the results, man, that the ability to sell is so much easier. So that's kind of what I want to transition into next is, so, we've talked about picking the niche, getting results for clients. I guess what I'm going to do, I don't really want to go into the exact Facebook ads and strategy there, because we already did a training on that. I'll link that down below to our other training guys if you want more details on the types of Facebook ad campaigns that Paul is running there. But this is more about like starting and building an agency. So let's transition to the next part, which is actual. So you have this proof of concept now. All right, now it's time to start getting clients, right? Yeah. So Paul, why don't you talk a little bit about this? You've had a lot of success with generating agency leads with zero ad spend, and just, again, sharing the results that you're getting in the right places in front of the right people. So talk to me a little bit about what you've done, like the system you have in place for generating leads specifically for your agency.
So I think one of the biggest things, I actually learned it from you, and it's a very simple concept. So if you have let's just say a real estate agent, right? And they're going to be paying you for your services and they're having a ton of success. I promise you that real estate agent knows 10 other real estate agents who could also be using this system, and likely they would want to monetize and create another revenue stream for themselves. And so once they're starting to have success, and usually it happens pretty quick, especially with Facebook ads, you can start to see leads coming in within the first, couple hours, honestly, maybe even the first few minutes. I think the fastest lead that's ever come in was like 30 seconds, which, again, if you're starting out, you run your first Facebook campaign, don't be upset if your first lead doesn't come in 30 seconds.
That's just a bonus later on, a nice surprise.
Yep. It is. It's a nice surprise when it happens, but start asking your clients for referrals and let them know that you will pay out an affiliate referral percentage to them for every client that remains your client for as long as they do. And I promise that you will start to get referrals left and right. Like I've gotten, I can't tell you how many referrals, probably like 6 or 7, just from asking for them and letting them know that they can build an extra revenue stream. So that is one of the easiest ways to get clients. You're paying clients, you're paying out extra money. Who doesn't like to make money? So it's a really easy offer and pitch. The other ways that I've been able to get some clients without ad spend, and look, you can do Facebook ads, you can run Instagram ads. They obviously work. They work for our business, they work for our clients' business. But if you don't have to, don't do it. Yeah, exactly.
Unless you're reaching the point where you really want to scale,
yes,
then maybe at that point. But getting to your first 10, 20, 50 clients or whatever,
Yeah.
you do not have to do ad spend.
Yeah. So start from affiliate. That's probably the easiest way to leverage it. But you might say, well, I don't have anyone to do that. If you don't have anyone to start asking, you don't have any clients yet. Okay, well, open up your phone. You probably have one person who knows someone. If you don't have a phone, you don't have a contact list, whatever it is, get on social media, create an Instagram account, create a Facebook account. If you don't have one of those, you're probably in the wrong space because you need to be a little bit savvy with social media at this point. But start building a network. Go to your immediate network. Start asking them for referrals. Say, hey, do you know anybody who would be interested in testing this out? Once you have some results to be showing, then you can start asking them for, more clients and more referrals. So that's an easy, natural way to build it. I've found a lot of success on different platforms like Alignable, on Reddit, just reaching out to people, talking to them, joining groups, adding value. Those are some of the ways that I outline in my course. I show you exactly how to do it. I break down some of the exact posts I make, some of the exact content I comment. I show you so that you don't really have to make it a guessing game. But those are definitely some of the easiest ways to find clients. I've probably found like 10 clients so far from Alignable and Reddit, which
that's crazy.
Completely free.
You don't really hear about Reddit or Alignable. Like when you first told me that, when you would text me like, dude, I just got 2 more clients or 3 more clients or leads, whatever, from this post on Reddit. I'm like, what are you doing on Reddit, bro? Like, because you always hear about Facebook ads, Instagram, Facebook groups, LinkedIn, stuff like that for getting clients.
They'll work, by the way. Those do all work.
Yeah, which are all great. But sometimes it's the platforms that aren't talked about as much that have some hidden gold there because it's not as saturated by agency owners trying to get deals, right? So let me ask you, did you work? So like, again, going back to what you mentioned, if someone doesn't have a client right now, did you work for free in the beginning to get your proof of concept? Did you offer to work for free?
So my very first client was actually a friend who was a real estate agent. And so I worked for free for him. He paid for the ad spend. That was the first one.
Don't ever cover the ad spend, guys. You can set up the campaign for free. That's fine. I did that for my first couple of campaigns to get the proof of concept, to get the results. So then I could actually ask for money or be comfortable asking for money, but don't ever cover ad spend. Okay. Ever. Yeah. Right. But you worked for free in the beginning. He covered the ad spends. And would you say that's what really set the foundation for your agency?
100%. What happened was he literally, I think like the first week he sent me a text saying, hey, this person's already pre-approved. We're going to go look at houses this weekend. And so at that point I was like, and I have a business. And I started scaling it. I made a post actually on Reddit. And then I think I texted you maybe 2 hours later saying, hey, I think I just got like 2 or 3 clients.
That's crazy, dude.
And then on those demo calls, it was like, hey, this is what I'm doing. Here's a text message I just got. Let me show you. And they're like,
the text message you got from your client?
Yeah, exactly. And they're like, okay, where do I sign up?
That's crazy, dude. So again, that's why getting the proof of concept and the results is so important, because that really lays the foundation for building your agency. Once you can show you get results, it's so much easier to sell. So yeah, so I did want to talk a little bit more about Reddit and Alignable. I know you go into it a lot more detail in your program, but so when you got your results for your first client, your friend there who was a real estate agent, so you took those results, you made a post on Reddit. So I assume you just found like a subreddit in the like a realtor or real estate agent primary Reddit. Like, I don't even know how Reddit actually works, but you made a post within that specific industry. What did you say? Did just like, hey, here's the results that we're getting. Here's what we're doing.
So I actually made a post in like just a random subreddit, because honestly at the time, this is probably like we're in August, like 4 or 5 months ago. And I didn't really know how Reddit worked either at the time. And so I just found like a random, very large group that was for like entrepreneurs. And I just posted about my success stories. And I really just posted it like kind of like a sense of like accomplishment, being like, hey, I kind of kicked like imposter syndrome to the curb. This is what I've done. This is what I've built. And my client just said that he got this. I started with a friend. Like, I literally just was super like transparent. I broke it down step by step what I did. And I set my phone down. I think I went and got lunch. And then like 30 minutes later, I opened up Reddit and my phone was like blown up. I had like a ton of notifications, a ton of DMs. And I was like, wow.
How many people do you think reached out to you?
Probably like 25.
So you generated 25 agency leads from one Reddit post.
Yeah.
How many converted into clients?
2 converted into clients. So it wasn't super high because a lot of people were
10% close rate, dude. That's pretty good.
I guess a lot of people were hitting me up saying, hey, how do I start an agency? Do you have a course? Do you have a course? And like asking me. And I was like, no, like I don't. Like I literally just started. Like I didn't have
Now
anything.
You do. You can probably reach out to them again and say, hey, you asked about this. Here it is.
Yeah. I mean, that's not a bad idea, but I had nothing at the time. And I just said no, but like, hey, if you have questions, like happy to help. Like, you know, and so like I talked actually to one of them on like a Google Meet, but one of those clients that I got referred me to 3 of my current clients.
Wow. That's
technically there's 5 clients.
Right. No, from one Reddit post and those 3 clients. So you paid out did you pay out a referral commission?
Yeah. And I still actually actively pay out a referral commission because I've kept those clients.
That's just awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay. Good stuff on that. So I want to sum that part of the blueprint up here, just starting an agency about generating leads and clients for your agency. It all comes down to the results that you're getting for people, guys. All right. I can't stress that enough. When you get the results for people, you don't need to overcome tons of objections or anything like that. I don't know about you, Paul, but when I get people booking calls, which a lot of times people just purchase my program, because the way I have it set up is I have a video showing the system. Here's the results that we get. Here's some testimonials. This is what we have. Most people, just move forward with it, but some people are going to want to book a call, and that's fine. Also, we're going to talk about what to charge clients, and that will dictate how people purchase from you. We'll talk about that in a second, but I send a lot of video content to people before they ever get on the call. And so by the time they're on the call, they're already pre-sold on the program, right? Because they've seen all the results, they've seen the explanation of how the program works, et cetera. And that really helps them make a decision up front. A lot of the times when I get on a call with people, they have some basic questions about like some specific parts of the program. Does it have this? Does it have that? But there's no convincing really. I mean, some people still need a little bit of a nudge. That's fine. But you're not starting from a completely cold conversation when you're sharing the results that you're getting from people. And that's my version of it was my YouTube channel. Just starting a YouTube channel, that takes a lot longer. I still think everybody should start a YouTube channel for long-term success in their business. But even something like a Reddit post, when you get into the right category and you just share the success that you're getting, that's going to spread. And it doesn't even necessarily have to be Reddit. It could be LinkedIn, it could be Facebook groups, whatever. But I guess to finish that off, I would say, why reinvent the wheel when Paul has already made the best wheel for this type of agency? Make sure you just follow his system. But when it comes to generating leads, guys, for your agency, it all comes down to the results and where are you sharing those results with people? Because at that point, once you have the results, you just need to get it in front of more of those potential clients. That's it. Like, hey, here's the system. Here's the results that we're getting. Do you want this for your business or not? It's a really simple question. And I mean, hell, you had 25 people reach out to you from one Reddit post, man. That's just insane.
So one of the things I want to touch on too, a lot of the conversations, and you could probably attest to this, a lot of the conversations are no longer selling. Like it's not a sales call anymore. Like I don't think I've had a sales call yet where every single call has been, hey, what do you do? Show me the system you got. Okay, here's the system. Can you show me some proof of concept? Like proof that it's working for other people? Mm-hmm. Yeah, here you go. And they're like,
easy as that.
Okay, well, what are the next steps?
Yep.
Okay, I'll send you an email. Click this link. This is where you pay. This is how you sign up, fill out your onboarding form, and we'll get you started. That's it. Like it's not a sales call. It's more so like, hey, show me, does it work? Yes, I see it works. I'm in. Like that's it. So it's really, really nice. So if you're bad at sales, if you're like, oh, maybe I need to hire a sales guy, or no, you don't. If you're doing
just
it
get
right,
massive results
you
from people.
sell. Yep.
Yeah, just get results for people. Yeah, that's
Make
awesome,
it
dude.
make it so easy for them to say yes that you don't actually have to sell them anything. And when you're genuinely helping people and giving them something of immense value, it's really easy to make a sale.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. So let's move on to what to charge agency clients. So there's a lot of different ways to charge clients for agency services. I'll just share where I'm at with mine right now. I want to hear what you're doing right now, Paul, as well. So I have a couple of different things that I do in my agency. So it's kind of hard to narrow down to one, but there's a couple different ways to do it. I typically recommend charging more upfront and then less on a monthly recurring basis, where you're not charging $1,500 per month, because a lot of the times people see that as a really big bill, right?
yeah,
Even if you're providing a massive amount of value to the business, oftentimes I see, they'll stay for 2, maybe 3 months, whatever. I'm sure there's agencies out there that have a lot of success with $1,500 per month model or $1,000 a month, whatever. But I prefer charging a much higher setup fee. So we'll do $2,000-$3,000 setup fee, and then it'll be $200-$300 a month or whatever for the marketing system and high level, which obviously we're building our agencies on high level. I
right.
don't think you can really build it on anything else, but that's where the monthly recurring revenue comes in. $200-$300 a month for ongoing services, maybe $500 a month, whatever. It depends on what you're doing, but you get the bulk of what you would try to get over the course of 3 to 6 months. If you were to charge $1,000-$1,500 a month, you get that up front as a setup fee. All right. So, because obviously there's going to be some customization for the business. Maybe you're setting up their ads, whatever. All right. So you get that setup fee, and then you get the monthly recurring income on the back end. Right. That's the way I like to do it. What are your thoughts on that, Paul? And what are you currently doing in your agency?
Yeah. Well, I'm doing it a little different than you. So people listening are going to get the best of both worlds here. So
That's
right
fine.
now, how I have it set up, and I'll actually explain because I'm about to be adding actually some more options to my business here within the next few weeks. First, so I have 2 different price points, and the reason is because and let me just start with the real estate agents. So for real estate agents, if they only want the CRM system, right? They don't want any of my ads, nothing like that, but they just want the funnels. They know how to already run their ads. I just charge $97 a month. It's the exact same cost as if they were using high level, but they just wanted the system. And I charge them $500 up front. So I don't do any helping with that. It's just they have a CRM. That's it. Like
Right.
they get the bare bones, but now they don't have to start from zero,
Right.
from scratch. If they want me to run their ads for them, run everything, they never have to look at it. I charge $500 a month. It's $497 just because I like the way it looked, honestly. And it was $3 cheaper. So I assume that people wouldn't hate that. Right. So I charge them $500 a month. And that's just, to me, that's my flat fee. I don't charge anything at closing. There's a lot of agencies out there that will charge, a percentage at closing. They're in, pay us, $100 a month, but pay us 30% every time you close on something.
I'm not a fan of that.
I don't like it because it's a lot of hard work, and you close
It's
something.
not reliable either.
Yeah. And the last thing you want to do as an agent is you just made $15,000. You don't want to write me a check for $5,000.
Yeah.
You want to take that $15,000 and, go take your family.
Your business is the agency. Their business is the real estate. Keep them separate.
Exactly.
No, but the $500 a month, are you charging a setup fee for that?
Yeah, I am. So that's $1,000.
Okay. But it's going to be 2,000 now, right?
We'll see.
Come on now. Come on.
I honestly,
we had this
I want
conversation.
I want it to be as valuable for people as possible. And I don't want them to feel like I am, upcharging them. Look, I know for a fact I'm going to make a lot of money on the back end because it's a good product and they're going to stay. Yeah. So I'm happy to work with them.
I'm glad we're having this conversation on this training right now, because this is part of the journey as an agency owner. It's actually something I still struggle with a little bit as well, is charging what you're worth. Yeah. Right. That's a whole other conversation. But here's the thing, guys, is, and this is what I was telling you, Paul, last week, is once you get the results and people are crushing it, you can write your own ticket. If someone's willing to pay $1,000 for your service, when they know other clients like yours are making $9,000 commissions, they'll pay $2,000 instead of 1,000.
Yeah.
They'll probably pay $5,000 instead of
Yeah.
one. Now, I'm not saying you need to jump to 5,000, but as you start to have more success, and I'm speaking to everybody here, as you start to have more success in your agency, you can start to charge more, at least up front. You could keep it at the $500 a month. That's like the ongoing fee, making sure they continue to get results. That's your monthly recurring revenue right there. That's really good. But if someone's going to be making tens of thousands of dollars, again, in a high ticket industry because of your services over the long run, we need to get paid for that,
Yeah.
right? We need to get paid for the value that we're bringing to that specific client. So that's an interesting and fun part of the journey, because like you said, here's the thing. What you said is excellent, where you want to make sure that you're providing value to your clients, which you are, and you don't want to feel like it's too much of a stretch for people. Here's the thing though, is again, if they're willing to pay 1,000, they're willing to pay two. I can guarantee you that, because they know their business. They know they're going to recoup that very, very quickly. So just think about that, guys. In the beginning, obviously, when you're starting your agency, I tell people, get to your first 5 to 10 clients and then start thinking about charging more, then get to 20, 30 maybe, and then start charging more, whatever, however you're comfortable with it. You'll probably start off charging people a little bit less in the beginning just to get the revenue in, get the results, etc. But man, once you have success with 5 to 10 clients, you better be cranking up the price. Here's the other part about that, Paul, and I think you'll agree with me on this, is that as you start to get more clients, you have to charge more because your time becomes more valuable. You want to make sure that you're working with the best clients best clients for your business. Paul, correct me if I'm wrong. There is a big difference between a good client and a bad client. There are bad clients out there. I don't care if they're willing to pay you. There are bad clients out there.
Yeah. So I recently fired a client because they were calling me 24/7. Like it was like a Saturday at like 6 p.m. and they were on the East Coast. So it was like literally 9 p.m. for them. And he was calling me saying, oh, what's going on? He just closed a deal, mind you. And like, he just converted a lead. He was like super in profit, saying, what's going on? This isn't working. I was like, sorry, what's not working? He's like, well, my SEO isn't working. I was like, I don't do your SEO. Why are you calling me? And he's like, oh, I guess you're right. That's my other guy. It's like, okay. So it was the little things like that, like all the time. And that's one of the other things I wanted to mention. So you brought up that your time is super valuable. So for real estate agent, like agency owners, I recommend starting at the very least with real estate agents, working with real estate agents. So I kind of work a lot now with investors, wholesalers, and I actually charge them quite a bit more actually than the real estate agents. And the reason is simply because of the time it takes me on the back end. So there's a lot more managing. You have to constantly be changing the ads like a lot more often than with real estate agents, because there's a lot of people who really hate wholesalers and investors online. And so they'll post negative comments. So I always need to be checking. And so there's a lot more work that goes in on my end. So I actually charge them $1,000 a month, and that actually goes up with their ad spend. So if someone's spending, $300,000 a month, they're paying me 10 grand. Not that it's anything crazy. It's like less than 3% of their total budget, but I do have a tiered scale, and it always makes sense for the client. In fact, I mean, there's people out there that are charging 30, 40, 50% at closing, and that's all they're providing. Like they're just providing the system, which blew my mind. And maybe I'm missing out on a ton of the money and the opportunity, but I sleep well at night knowing that, I'm really not making that much, but it's still mutually beneficial, right? So as their ad spend continues to go up, because they're having more success, I get paid, a 2-3% fraction of that. So it's, I want them to succeed. They want to succeed, but I'm not taking $30,000 out of closing.
Yeah. That's nuts. I mean, I suppose if you can get to that point and it's mutually beneficial for everybody, do what you want. I wouldn't say that there's any right or wrong way to do it. It's just what makes sense for you right now. What are you comfortable with? What's going to push you a little bit beyond your comfort zone, but not to the point where you're going to blow a deal and screw it up. Right. So just something to think about. So I think with that, we'll go ahead and wrap up. We might do another video later on, just going into a little bit more detail about some of the specific things that we've talked about here. But I think this was great. I think a lot of really good information. I really appreciate your time, Paul. Guys, I can't stress enough to join the Skool community, connect with Paul if you have any questions about the program. We'll have a link down below. You can request a demo, maybe book a call with Paul. I'm not sure how you're going to set that up. Do you have like a video demo of your program, or are people booking calls with you, or both?
I still have a wait list, so if they're interested, they can hop in on the wait list. It'll send them a text message immediately. If they're interested, you can use the same link I gave you last time for that. And if they're interested, they can reach out to me directly. It's got my number on there, so yeah, they can reach out, send a text. And one other thing I wanted to mention, I'm trying to make it as easy as possible for people. So it's something I'm going to be adding into my business, is like a do-it-yourself system where I provide all the templates, all of the ad copy, everything, and where people can pay, maybe $1,000 a month, for example, is just way too much for them. It doesn't fit their budget. They'd rather use some of that money instead of on my expertise to run it for them. They'd rather do it themselves, but still get access to that, that content that I'm using for my clients and the same system. So I'm going to be launching that here pretty soon, and, charge significantly less for both the wholesalers, investors, and for real estate agents. But within the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be actually adding that training as I'm doing it into my course, so that people are going to be able to do the exact same thing to really make it more of like a SaaS type product for themselves, for their agency, and save a ton of time from their standpoint, and be able to help way more people,
Nice.
and add a ton of value. So it's going to be really, really fun. I'm super excited for it.
Love it, man. Awesome. So make sure you guys get on the wait list. What's the name of the program?
Yeah, it is. I've gone back and forth quite a bit, but it's just a real estate marketing agency blueprint. Like, it is literally, I cannot stress this enough. It is my exact agency. Like, I took a snapshot of it. Yep, exactly. Like, it is my exact snapshot that I'm using. Like, there is no differences. So
nice. Do they also get, so they get to the templates and everything for fulfilling for clients, but do you provide like your agency stuff as well?
Oh yeah. So they have my agency, they have all the funnels, they have literally my website. So they will have to go in there and edit it, obviously, to make it their own, add their own images. Like, I cannot stress it enough. It is my exact agency template. And if they want to start, making a ton of money, then as well, they can do that. And I was honestly pretty hesitant, like, to even like give it away. And I talked to you about it. We had like a pretty long call, and I was like, I don't know if I want to give this all away. And you're like, when you give value, you will get money. Like, you will. And so
that's the way of the universe, man.
Yeah, it's still a little scary. Like, I'm honestly kind of nervous about it, but I'm really excited. It should be fun.
It's a big next step for you. I'm proud of you. So, all right, guys. Well, we'll go ahead and wrap up with that. I hope you found value in this. I know I certainly did. If you got any questions, drop some comments down below. Make sure you like the video. Connect with Paul and I inside of the Skool community. Make sure you get on the wait list for his program. That's going to be launching very, very soon. He only has a couple of more videos that he needs to do, and then it's ready to rock and roll. So if you are interested in having a blueprint start to finish on how to build a successful marketing agency, specifically in the real estate niche, Paul's your guy. Make sure you get on the wait list. So anyways, hope you guys enjoy this, and we'll talk to you in the next one. Appreciate your time, Paul.
See ya.
All right.